Okay, so Behemshech to the Frierige Shiurim, which we learned was the Shitta of the Alter Rebbe, Shitta Sagoinim brought down Meram al Shakir, and how the Alter Rebbe is Machriach, that the Beis was also a Chayzer, and he also holds like that, and the whole Arichis. And then we went through the Shittas of the other Rishonim, Shittas Rabbeinu Tam, and the Gemaras. Also, the two Shittas of the Trumas Hadeshen and the Lavush, how you break up a day, which is Negeya for all the Shiurim of the day, which is Krishma, Zman Krishma, Zman Tefillah, so Zman Achilas Chametz, so Zman Sreifas Chametz, Plaga Mincha, and so on. The two Shittas, and how the Alter Rebbe follows in Siddur, he follows Shittas Alavush, and Shulchan Aruch, he follows like the Magen Avraham, which is the Shitta of the Trumas Hadeshen. Now, when it comes to Zman Krishma, or the same as to other things, really there Chabti that there are two more shittas. And it's follows. First of all, if I remember correctly, I didn't look it up now, but if I remember correctly, the Pnei Yeshua, V'chlal learns that these are not shoyz manis. They're shoyz hashvois, or shoyz hashavis, which means 6 in the morning is when we count morning, 6 in the night is night, and you take the day. So every day, 9 o'clock is Zman Krishma, and 10 o'clock is Zman Tefillah. Every day, yeah. Of course, we have a zegir like in America that they move it ahead, yeah, whatever. So it's 10 o'clock, but the real time is 9 o'clock. That's one shitta. Then you have the two other shittas, which is lamaisa la halacha. Either you pass it like the Alter Rebbe in the Gra, like we do, or with the ganze Welt. Outside of the Alter Rebbe and the Gra, they follow the Magen Avraham that it starts from Alois to Tzeis, and we follow that it goes from Neitz to Shkia. That we divide into 3 halakim to 4 halakim, and that serves my Krishna. Now you have a fourth shitta, which is the Zohar. Based on the Zohar, so the day is not divided in day and night. 12 hours day, 12 hours night. The day is 24 hours, and it begins at Tzeis HaKechavim every night, because Vahiyere Vahiboker day begins at night. So it begins at night when Tzeis HaKechavim is, and it goes for 24 hours till the next night. And then 12 hours is night, and 12 hours is day. So therefore, you get, so the Magen Avraham brings down this shitta. He says there are those who want to use it also for Krishma and Tefillah. No, that he does not go along with that. But he says for Legaba Tikkun Chatzos, he says we will go along with that. And I'll explain what the Magen Avraham says. What it means is like this. When it comes to Krishma and Tefillah, he says we have to go and look at the Metzias, at the reality brings rise from the Gemara, where the sunlight is. When is Chatzos Hayoim? Before it starts to go to Ma'ariv. So which means it's right in the middle of the day. So you cannot go, you have to take the day itself, not the 24 hours. You have to take the day itself and divide it into 2 halves. That's the middle of the day. That's when the first half of the day is towards Mizrach, the sun is towards Mizrach. The second half, it's towards Ma'ariv. You can't take the whole day. If you're going to take the whole day and you're going to count, so in the middle of the summer, when the night is so short, and you're going to, when the night is so short, and let's say, Tzeis HaKechavim, let's say is 8:30 or 9, so 9 o'clock in the morning finishes the first 12 hours. Yeah? You're going to count another 12 hours from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. Chatzos will be 2-3 hours after the real Chatzos. The sun will be a long time in the middle of Ma'ariv already when you start Chatzos. And the opposite will be in the winter, when the day really in the winter will be the opposite. When Shkia starts, when Tzeis HaKechavim is sometimes like 5 o'clock or 5:30, so 5:30 in the morning, the 12 hours of the night finished already. And now you're going to start counting 12 hours and divide them in half. You will get Chatzos like 10 o'clock, way before the real Chatzos is. So therefore, the Magen Avraham says when it comes to Krishma, Tefillah, Plaga Mincha, Chatzos of the day, all these in Yanam are totally in the sun. It's totally in the dark hours of the day. So therefore, all the shoyes zmanius of the day go for the 12 hours from sunrise, either from Alois HaShachar to Tzeis HaKechavim according to Trumas HaDeshen, or according to the Levush from Neitz to Shkia. However, when it comes to Chatzeis HaLayla, it is connected to the concept of an Eis Rotzen. An Eis Rotzen is a himmlische Meise. And that's where the perfect time to be Mispal al-Churim Beis HaMikdash. That's the time. So the Eis Rotzen has nothing to do with Eilam Hazeh, with the Koich Veleches. It has nothing to do with sun and the moon, nothing. In B'meila, that, I could agree, we go according to the Zayir. So therefore, when is Chatzeis HaLayla for Tikkun Chatzeis? It's not. It's totally from whenever it's Chatzeis, it's Tzeis HaKechavim. You take 12 hours after that and you divide that in half. Nishnagei is summer or winter, Nishnagei of the night is a short night or a long night. It's 12 hours, and the middle is Chatzeis HaLayla. It's interesting, Shitta, that's the Magen Avraham Shitta. Brings the Machzah Shekel, the Teshuvas Shavi Ankiv, and others, disagree, and they say Pshat and Zohar, that even for the night, we don't go that mahal. And the Alter Rebbe sides with that Shitta in the Madura Basra. The Alter Rebbe explains like this. Alter Rebbe explains, let's face it, Yantiv and Shabbos, if you learn Chassidus and you learn Kabbalah, you know that Yantiv and Shabbos is also told in Eis Rotzen. Well, what is Shabbos? Zerampen has an Aliyah L'mayla. Yeah. All of this is told in Sfiras L'mayla. Nothing happens here. So how can it be that in Chicago you start an hour later to keep Shabbos in Chicago an hour later, and over here you start keeping Shabbos an hour earlier? Well, which one is it? Is that Ampen where? So says the Alter Rebbe, Elamai was the Pshat. Everything is told in Eis Rotzen. Says the Alter Rebbe simple. That L'mayla, in Sfiras Olyonis, and Eis Rotzen L'mayla, everything is L'mayla and Azman. There's no such a thing as Zman L'mayla. Over there it's a Darge. There's the Darge of Shabbos. There's the Darge of when Zeirampen has an Aliyah. So Malchus has an Aliyah. There's a Darge of Eis Rotzen L'mayla that happens by Chatzeis. It has nothing to do with time. It's a darga. And so too as chesed, when chesed comes down, I'm adding, that's not the lashon of the Alter Rebbe, but so too when chesed comes down, lamata, it's water. And when gevura comes down, it's eish. Lamaila, there's no eish and there's no mayim. Lamaila, there's chesed and gevura, ruchnius. But when the nishtalshal lamata, they turn into inyana, so too they turn into time. So chesed also becomes Yom Rishon is chesed, Yom Sheni is gevura. So there's no Yom Rishon l'mayla. L'mayla is chesed. But when it comes into nishtalshal into time, so Yom Rishon is chesed, Yom Sheni is gevura, Yom Shlish is tferes, v'chulu. Yeah? In B'meila too, the same thing. When there's the Eis Rotzen of Shabbos, l'mayla, it's an inyan. It's a darga of Eis Rotzen. When it's nishtalshal in time, it comes down to be in time over here, in Eilam Hazeh, Yom HaShabbos. So B'meila, but what is time? Of course, in every place, time goes according to what time means in Eilam Hazeh, depending on the sun. In B'meila, so too. So he says even the Zohar, which is talking about Tikkun Chatzeis, which is not a time of davening and of Plaga Mincha. It's a time of Eis Rotzen. But that gufa, that Chatzeis is a man of Eis Rotzen, l'mayla it's an inyan of Eis Rotzen. Lamata, that Eis Rotzen is connected when Ishtalshalas in Zman. So you have to take the Zman, which is Begashmias, take the night, and whatever how long the night is, if it's a shorter night or a longer night, that's what Zman is the Lamata. And split that in half, and that is Chatzeis. And therefore, Chatzeis HaLayla will always be exactly 12 hours from Chatzeis HaYom. Chatzeis HaYom will always be 12 hours Chatzeis HaLayla. Because if it's shorter nights, then you divide the night in half. If it's longer nights, you divide it in half. So to the day. When the night is shorter, the day is longer. When the day is shorter, the night is longer. So it's always right in the middle from both. The Alter Rebbe just throws in another word. That's the beer of the Alter Rebbe's word. The Alter Rebbe just throws in a word which is kedai to know, bechlal, which is another discussion totally. But the Alter Rebbe says, so too when it comes to Yantiv Sheni. which is a big Iberkerenish and Lubavitch, what the Alter Rebbe shit is. In the Gemara, in Masechet Pesachim Mokim Shenahagu, there are two shittas of Rishonim. The regular mahalach of the Rishonim is that the same way that if a person travels from one city to the other, and the other city has no minhagim, it depends. If it's daiter lachzer, then he keeps his old minhagim, just not in public, in private. If it's not daiter lachzer, he takes on the new minhagim of the new city. And the Rav Rishonim learn pshat, and so too when it comes to the Inyan of Yom Tov Sheni Shel Goliath. If you come from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz, it depends if it's daiter lachzer or not. Daiter lachzer, you're ben Eretz Yisrael. In public, you can't do a malacha. In public, but in private is a different, or not a malacha. Other things in private, you put on tefillin and so on. And faket, when you go from Chutz La'aretz to Eretz Yisrael, if you're daiter lachzer, you have to keep 2 days. However, shittas harayven is that this has nothing to do with minhagim. How will it be if somebody travels to Chicago, but he comes from New York and is daiter lachzer? Can he finish Shabbos an hour earlier because in New York Shabbos earlier is an hour earlier? Is there such a concept? Never. Why? Because it's not only minhagim. It's the makim is keveya when Shabbos is. Yeah. So the shittas harayven is Yom Tov Sheni Shel Goliath is the same concept. There is a Eis Ratzin, which is only in Chutz La'aretz, which shines for 2 days. In Eretz Yisrael, it's only for 1 day. It has nothing to do with the minik of you, where you. The makim is keveya. So the Alter Rebbe says the same inyan I was masbed. It's an inyan ruchni l'mayla. When it comes down lamata, it's tolu every makim it changes because b'ishtalshol is tolu in zman b'chol makim. So the Alter Rebbe throws in so ki'ilu it's mashma from over here that he paskins like the second shitta. It has nothing to do with minik makim of where you come from. It has to do with the makim where you are. That's how you have to keep. And the Alter Rebbe says, as it's going to be mavur in Hilchos Yantiv. There's no madura basra in Hilchos Yantiv. There's only madura kama. Over there, the Alter Rebbe brings both shittas. First, when a ben Eretz Yisrael comes to Chutz La'aretz, it only brings the first shitta. When a ben Chutz La'aretz goes to Eretz Yisrael, he happens to bring both shittas. So it's Iber Kerenish, how the Alter Rebbe really paskins is this from what he says over here, Arayel, Alocha, Lamaisa, Lepoel, there's letters from the Rebbe Rashab, and from the Friediger Rebbe, Lav Dafka like this, and even from the Rebbe, that is Lav Dafka like this. So I can't say Iber Kerenish. If you want to know the whole sugya, in Sivim Bizdei Ashlichus from Harav Raskin from London, he has a few parakim devoted to the Shaila. But I just wanted to throw it in since you learned this Alter Rebbe. So here comes a fourth shitta. If you learned like the Zayir, we had a fourth shitta that every day Shoyz Manias are different Shoyz Manias. So if you have a late night, Lamashal, in the middle of the summer, 8:30 or 9 is Tesek Echavim. So 9 o'clock in the morning is when the day starts, 12 hours later. Now you divide from 9 in the morning to the 9 at night into 4 halakim. So Sozman Krishma could be 11 o'clock according to this shitta. Sometimes, yeah. So of course, the shitta should not be publicized because nobody passes like that. Even the Magen Avraham who follows the Zohar says not to Zman Krishma, only for Chatzais. But however, the Alter Rebbe doesn't accept even this shitta, even for Chatzais at night either. And everything goes according to Shoy Zmanias, which is Tolu in the sun. Hatzlach Rebbe Mefloge, Zayt Matzliach. And Yetz Hashem on Sunday, we'll see whether we continue a little bit more of this sugya or we start something else. We'll discuss it Sunday morning. Zayt Matzliach tomorrow. I know there's shiurim tomorrow also. So if you didn't finish chazer over, I'm not going to give a shiur tomorrow. It's probably from 11:30 to 12:30 Seder. Zayt Matzliach.
Okay. Thank you.